Hi everyone, welcome to this video from Agility Ventures. Today we have gathered to have a very interesting discussion with one of our portfolio company, Dolphin Chat. My name is Abhishek Gulia. I head portfolio management with Agility, and today we are happy to announce that one of our portfolio company is getting acquired. Yes, it is Dolphin Chat, and today we have the founder of Dolphin Chat, Ashish, with us, and we have Dhianu sir, who is the founder of Agility Ventures. So guys, welcome to this interview.
Thank you, Abhishek, for having us.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So to start with, I would love to know, Ashish, from your side, how has your journey started as a founder in this entrepreneurial journey?
So my entrepreneurial journey started back in college. This was during my second year of college, wherein we started a company for bridging the gap between entrepreneurs and university students. And we really wanted the university students to understand what entrepreneurship is. And what we used to do was we conducted these workshops, we interacted with the e-sales across India, and we used to conduct collaborations between the University of Delhi and other universities in and outside India. But very soon we realized that it is more of a side project than an actual venture, and we shut it down within 8-10 months. And after my final year of college is when I stumbled upon the idea of civil corps, which basically was out of a personal trauma that I went through. So you must remember 2016-17, there was national news that there was a traffic jam on the Delhi-Gurgaon highway that lasted for more than a day. And we were stuck on that for good 5-6 hours, and that got me thinking that how is the government operating, because as a citizen I did not know whether I have to contact the Delhi police or the Haryana police, or if there is some special task force by the National Highway Authority. And that basically I gained curiosity on that and started researching on how governments operate and how public service delivery is done. So we stumbled upon this, and eventually Civil Corps was formed. Civil Corps, the main idea behind that was to have a more efficient communication when it comes to governments and citizens. And we created a conversational AI chatbot that was for the citizens to interact with the government agencies just like the way they interact with their friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
And for the government institutions, we created an automated system that could increase the efficiency and the turnaround time for them. I think a couple of months into this, we met Mr. Dhianu, and he came on board as the first angel investor. And we then sort of worked together to understand where all we can fit this solution into. And there was this competition happening in Delhi at that time. This was initiative by the Smart Dubai government along with an accelerator called Startup Bootcamp. So we pitched for that. We had an MVP ready, and somehow we were selected among the top 10 from India. We risked almost all the capital then that we had that time to go to Dubai for the finals, and eventually we were selected among the global top 10 companies for smart city solutions. And that, I think, will be the kickoff journey in my point of view for the company. And then we worked with multiple authorities in India as well as outside India. And after building the technology and running this for multiple governments, we understood and had deeper insights about the industry. And that, I think, in 2020, when the pandemic was just about to start, we made a strategic decision to pivot and use the same technology that we have built over the last 3 years to go into the B2B domain. And that is when we started working with enterprises. We started working with organizations like United Nations. We started working with banks, telecoms, and also on the other hand, we were working with the SMBs, especially the D2C e-commerce companies. And yeah, now we are sitting here today. So this has been my journey of the last 5 years as an entrepreneur.
That's amazing. So I think that's amazing. So Now the journey is now you as an entity is merging into Very Smart. So please tell us about what is Very Smart and how would it be benefited by your acquisition?
Sure. So Saurabh is the founder and CEO for Very Smart, and what they have created as a product is basically a blockchain-based data exchange platform that is helping enterprises to exchange and monetize their data without violating any privacy laws. And the whole concept behind this is that they started as a company who was automating and providing new channels for consumer onboarding to these banks and telecoms in India. And then they realized that this whole market is much smaller compared to the data that these organizations are holding. And I think then they started working on the data exchange part. And as of today, we are working with 6 of the top 10 banks, 2 of the top 3 telecoms here in India. And majorly, our goal is to create these industry consortiums where using an identity that can run that particular industry, we help data contributors to basically increase their lifetime value of the customers because they've already spent money to onboard them. And on the other hand, for the data consumers, we are helping them to reduce their customer acquisition cost because they're able to get verified, authenticated users from the data contributors.
Awesome. So there's a lot of data play happening
Yeah.
on the back end. So what are your thoughts on how would they benefit? What is the kind of strategic help now Dolphin Chat would be able to do to them, which might be they were not able to do earlier?
So they have an end-to-end platform for data exchange, and they run on a B2B2C model. So basically they work with these banks, telecoms, insurance companies who then give their interface for them to communicate with the end consumers. Where Dolphin Chat comes into picture as a strategy is that now we have an entire omni-channel communication layer which they can use to take the end consumer consent for these data exchanges that is happening. So that is basically the strategy behind the acquisition. And now combining Dolphin Chat's communication layer along with Very Smart's data exchange layer, we are a end-to-end solution that works on the B2C model but also has the end consumer communication sorted.
Okay, and that is very important. I
Yes,
think.
that is very important. I think
that was the part that might be very interesting.
Correct.
Awesome. Great to know.
Thank you.
So I think one of the most important thing as a founder, since the whole team has been acquired and the whole company is acquired, what are your roles and responsibilities? So what is your growth plan now in the newer company, and where is Very Smart heading in terms of growth?
So personally for me now, I am taking the responsibility in the company as a chief operating officer. So I'll be having the responsibility of managing all the operations, the fundraising, and part of business development along with Saurabh. And in terms of where Very Smart is heading, so now in the last 4 years we have onboarded major institutions in India. Now we are looking to use those institutions to create these industry consortiums. 2 of them which are already live. One is for the banking and telecom, and the other industry that consortium that we have created is the insurance one. And now we are getting into health, we are getting into travel. One big launch for the travel already happened this month, and this is essentially the next steps for us. In terms of growth, we are now also expanding to newer geographies. So we just had our demo day in Dubai, and now we are looking to get our entity registered there. We onboarded our first customer, first bank in Dubai, and we are now going to be much more aggressive for the entire MENA region. We already have a US entity, so the pandemic had been difficult for everyone, but now we are getting back into action in the US as well.
Oh, okay. So geographically, you're saying you're expanding to the MENA region and probably the US. What are other areas that are on the target map?
So we have done a lot of pilots specifically for the Very Smart platform.
Mhm.
We have done this in Vietnam, we have done this in UK. But as of now, for the next 18 months, the strategy is very clear to focus on Dubai, India, and US.
Awesome. So I think that has been a very interesting journey that you have been through. All these years doing things, pivoting, and I'm pretty sure a lot of things have gone wrong, and then you have made it right. But because that is what the entrepreneurial journey is all about. So, how have you got support from your investors and from Agility as a company backing you as an investor?
So specifically about Dhianu sir and Agility, they have been part and parcel of everything that we have done, from business development to expansion to getting legal sorted, to onboarding and getting new leads, helping us to get ready for the next round of investment. So they have been a very constant support to us. Dhianu sir in fact traveled with us to many of the events, so that we get a hand holding during the initial days. And he has been with us at the RISE conference for multiple events in Dubai as well. So I would say the role of an angel investor is what we have experienced with Agility and Dhianu sir, wherein they don't just put in money, but they also come with their expertise, and they also put in efforts along with the founders.
So I think that's important also as a founder, because I have been a founder myself, and one of the main reason what we look at as a founder is a support system.
Correct.
On growing, because we are a growing companies at the end of the day, and we are facing problems, challenges, and things like that. So I think that way it has been interesting, and what you have said, I'm pretty sure same way Agility is helping other portfolio companies also. So yeah, I think that's fab. Awesome. So I think that's a very interesting journey that you've been through. But I would love to know from the investor side, how has your journey been backing Dolphin Chat and Ashish and his co-founders?
I think the very first time when I met them at NASSCOM, I remember when I met them with Sunil sir, and at that time only I realized that they are good guys to work with, and they were actually creating something different than the regular stuff of B2B or B2C. So this was the first company that I wanted to get into with B2G kind of business. And I realized that it's gonna be a tough journey, because selling to governments in those days, 2017-18, was really, really tough. And there was nothing as such which was providing this thing to startups that they can directly work with the government, or they can work with the government bodies or with the government people. A very difficult journey. But I do wanted to be a part of their journey, and happily invested in them day one when I met them. I don't think it took us long to realize. And at that time it was called Civil Corps, and I remember spending endless hours with them in understanding the product, or how we can make unique stuff for the government or for United Nations. And after that, once the revenue started, once the journey started of them growing to making revenues, that time when I felt that no, this is good, so this is gonna be a good journey altogether. And I remember I was not just banking on the company only, I was ready to buy the secondaries as well when there was something available. And I remember once we bought it from the other investors as well, because they were I was wanting to help the company more in that sense, so that we can grow the company in one direction.
Awesome. That's amazing. Awesome. So Dhianuji, you have been a very amazing entrepreneur yourself, and you have supported a lot of these companies. Would love to know from your side, what are important characteristics that you feel are responsible for a startup being successful?
Many, but founder is the first thing I see. And in founder, most of the startup which fail is the integrity issue. They feel that, they can do anything and get away with it. It doesn't work like that, ever. You make one mistake, and suddenly, you will realize that people have started distrusting you. So that's the one issue. And second thing, what I personally feel is that the founders should be looking at the company as their only asset, or as their only way of growth. Mostly I have seen that founders sometimes get diverted and start looking at some other avenues of making money for their family or for themselves or something. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. If you have that startup with you, you put your 100% into it. That's your life. That's your future. Nothing else. Completely. And if founder look at that way, with integrity intact completely, I think then the growth is there. When people like me, angels like me, invest in the founder, these are two things what we look at. Nothing else. Their 100% dedication to the company, and definitely their integrity on top of it. And that's what is I think is making me invest in more and more startups, because I am trusting more and more founders. On top of it, coachability is another factor, which is a primary reason of startup growth, because investors tell founders a lot of things according to their own experience, and startup on the other hand have to not just visualize what they have understood from the investor, but they also have to implement it in their own journey and startup. So the coachability is another big thing. If these are there, I'm happily able to say that the company will be growing very well.
Awesome. So coachability, focus, and learnability,
yes,
essentially. These are the key skills. Yeah, awesome. That's good to know. Awesome. So I think with this acquisition, Very Smart would be moving into a new direction, which will be supporting a lot of things. But I would love to know from your side, because you have been a startup founder. So how does your investors feel about this acquisition?
I think we have Dhianu sir here. He'll be the right person to comment on that.
I think I was very happy when he told me the news, and though I definitely wanted him to grow the company, but if you see the overall journey of startups, successful startups, I will say, so 70% of all successful startups get acquired, mergers and acquisitions. The number could be bigger than 70, but not below 70, and only about 26-27% of the startups see the Series B onwards and all that. And 3% of entire startups go to IPO. So the major chunk is M&A. Any startup, 70% chances for a successful exit is merger and acquisition. And with Very Smart, I met the founder. I wanted to invest in that company. When I met him first, he was doing his round at that time, and it was oversubscribed. I liked the founder very much, sort of. And after that, when we were discussing, they were working together on few things. And when he offered it was a happy situation, because in merger, we were given the option of getting the cash or the equity of the company Very Smart. I think all the investors preferred for equity in Very Smart, because now we have two founders in one company. One Ashish and the other Saurav. Both are doing wonderful work in their own. And as Very Smart is handling almost a huge chunk of data for the government, I think it's a win-win situation for the investors as well as founders.
So I think that's very amazing. Thank you for those answers. Would love to know some last thoughts from Dhianuji on what is your message to the investor community, and especially agility investors who are there currently investing in agility, and also who want to be a part of the agility investing community?
So I think this is a different asset class. The investment in startups is not easy. I see a lot of people see startups as grown-up companies. That's not the way you look at startups. Startups are something which is just starting by a new founder. He's innovating. He's going against the tide. He's going against the norms, the normal business way, and that's where this asset class is little different than what you see mutual funds or stock investments or property investment. And same way, the returns are exceptional in this asset class. I personally tell all the investors who I meet or who want to talk to me or understand startup investing, I tell them that move your portfolios 5% at a time every year to startup investing. So if you move that for 5 years or 7 years, you will still be having a decent sized portfolio of other assets. You have properties, stocks, mutual funds, insurance, FTs, and you will probably, as per my understanding, you will have a bigger startup portfolio than your entire portfolio. You probably maybe 5x or if lucky 10x of what you have already invested. So I am personally favoring 95% of my money to startups, and only 5% goes to other things. And I request all the investors to at least start looking at this asset class. If not 5%, probably 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs going into 5 startups a year. Look at the journey, enjoy the journey, meet the founders, talk to other investors, and you will definitely in next 5-7 years you will see that one of the startups will be paying back the entire money. That's what is happening since last 30-40 years in America. People who invested in startups, they have seen that this is the journey they want to enjoy in future as well. Same in India with agility. We have almost converted close to 500 angels as investors, and we have now a group of around 2,500 investors with us which are looking at investing in startups. So we are personally telling them how the journey can be started, or how they should look at investing, how they can talk to other investors and start their journey. And now it's becoming much more easier because the fund we have launched, Agility Fund we have launched, is also doing wonderfully well, where we have invested in companies. So that's my request and advice to the investors and investor community, that we all can help the new investors understand this journey first before starting their journey.
Awesome. Thank you for those thoughts, and I'm pretty sure this would also help a lot of our viewers and a lot of our investors who are investing in this community. I thank Ashish and congratulations again for this acquisition and new phase of your life, and thank you Dhianu sir for backing this company and making it happen.
Congratulations.
Thank you sir.
Really
Awesome. So
we are still in the journey. We are still there. We are with Very Smart now as investors, and I'm sure that as a founder, he will be doing a great justice to his involvement with Very Smart now and making that company grow.
Indeed.
Best of luck.
Amazing.
Thank you sir.
With this, we'll end this interview, and we are hoping to do more such interviews with more such exits, as well as interesting things happening with the Agility portfolio. So stay tuned with us, and investing is simple. Come invest with us and grow with Agility. Thank you guys for joining us.